Okay, can you all hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I had on my earpods and it just makes it easier because I'm in a room that's very drafty and the vent is very loud, so that's why the earpods on. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna turn off my screen, turn off my webcam, and we can focus on the PowerPoint slides, and then we'll switch on to Google Scholar. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so just a couple of things. If you have any questions at any point, you can feel free to raise your hand or type your question into the chat box. And what I will do is I will try to answer them as I go along. And if you can hold up your questions to the end, I can unmute all of us, and you guys can ask more questions. Okay, and this webinar will be recorded, so once it's done, I will send this out to you. So part of the goals that I want you guys to know is, set up your Google Scholar settings, and I'll show you guys how to do that. We do have a research guide for you guys to reference on that. Feel confident in locating peer-reviewed articles. It is possible to find peer-reviewed articles. If you haven't heard of interlibrary loan, you guys will be very familiar with that at the end of this session. And organize sources into folders. And this just makes it easier for you to locate your articles and to access them once you are out of Google Scholar. And I'll briefly go over citation tracking. There is a feature to do that in Google Scholar, and I'll explain a little bit about what that is. Okay, so what is Google Scholar? Google Scholar is a resource provided by Google, if you haven't noticed that by now, and it is a freely accessible web search engine that indexes the full text of scholarly literature across an array of publishing formats and discipline. It was released in 2004, and you can access it by just typing in Google Scholar. Before you start searching though, I really recommend if you're using your laptop or your own computer to set your preferences. So that way you can see what is available from the web and also what the Chicago School Professional Psychology Collection has. So as a TC/SPP student, faculty, or staff, you can access any of the articles that can be found in Google Scholar, and you can make interlibrary loan requests. You can use the basic or advanced search, but Google Scholar doesn't have a very strong advanced search, but it is helpful if you like to use Google Scholar. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so what can you find on Google Scholar? There's a couple of things. You can find peer-reviewed online academic journals and books. There are preprints, conference papers, thesis and dissertations. A lot of times you will run into abstracts, so it's not going to give you that full article. There are technical reports, some court opinions, and patents. And if you wonder how Google Scholar finds all of these resources, it's sometimes that looks like it's free. It's because sometimes the author will upload their own draft, their own they'll upload their own paper without letting the publisher know, which is always a big no-no. But Google Scholar uses a web crawler or a web robot to kind of identify PDF files, and it's a really strong algorithm system. It's kind of similar to Google search. Any websites or repositories will need to be structured in a way to make it possible to crawl for Google Scholar to crawl in this manner. If any author uploads their paper into a blog, it will show up on Google Scholar as free. And this makes Google Scholar an easy and accessible source. However, Google Scholar has been criticized for not vetting journals and for including predatory journals in its index. With that in mind, I want to let you know that Google Scholar should not be used alone, and it is an additional resource you can access in conjunction with the library databases. Any questions on that so far? Okay. So I just want to show this briefly. And this is when you go into Google settings, you want to set your settings to TCS Education View It. So this just allows you to view and grab any of the articles that we provide at our library collection. So that way you don't have to pay for that article that Google Scholar is making you pay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to Google Scholar. And Google Scholar, I just went to Google, I typed in Google Scholar, and if you want to, you can find more information about Google Scholar, because sometimes, most of the time, we all just click on Google Scholar, and you won't find a lot of information about it. So before you click on there, you can click on their about. You can find so much more information about what, how they search for blogs, articles, and that kind of stuff. They have a lot of information in that, but sometimes when we're in a rush, we don't really look at this. So if you want to, you can view more about this. But I'm just going to go straight into Google Scholar. And if you have not, you can feel free to open up Google Scholar. And before we even start going, we want to set our settings to this TCS Education View It. So how we're going to do that is I go to this 3 dashes on the upper left corner, and I'm going to just go to my settings. And when you go to settings, you want to click on library links. When you click on library links, I don't want Open WorldCat. I'm going to click out of that, and I'm just going to type in TCS Education System, and I'm just going to click on the blue button, and this link should pop up. So when you click on this just enables Google Scholar to grab all the articles from our electronic collection, okay? And then you just save. So I'm going to do that one more time in case I went too fast. When you're in Google Scholar, go to that 3 dash in the upper left corner, and we went to settings, and we go under the search results to library links, and we typed in TCS Education System, click go, and it should pop up, and you just save. And now you're ready to search. Justin, you said there's one that also says the Chicago School of Professional Psychology libraries. So we ran into this issue. That was before we transitioned from a couple of other systems. And I verified with my superiors, and they did say that you want to stick to that TCS Education. So I think that was an old system, an old library link. Sometimes when I'm using that, I do find stuff but I would just stick to TCS Education System one for now. If you want to, you can use both, but I really recommend to just stick with the TCS Education System. Okay. So Google Scholar is very different from your traditional library databases. And when I think about Google Scholar, it is very easy to use, and you don't always have to use that keyword, Boolean, and keyword. So Boolean operates just that word and or not. It does give you more of that leeway to type in questions or, more of a sentence. So I'm just gonna type a random subject. Oh, somebody asked another question. Does setting up Google Scholar eliminate the need to go to the TCSPP library? Oh, that's a great question. So you're asking if we even need to go to the Chicago School Library catalog. So I would still use this in conjunction with the library catalog, because sometimes Google Scholar, I'll show you in a little bit, it doesn't have the best advanced features. So if you're looking for a specific peer-reviewed article on a specific methodology, it's not going to provide that for you. And so Google Scholar shouldn't be used as a standalone resource. I would still use all the databases that pertains to the scope of your research topic. Okay, I do look at Google Scholar, when I have exhausted all of the library resources, or sometimes when I need to kind of figure out what are the main concepts of that topic, then I will come here. Anybody have any research question they want me to type in here? Any topic that you're super curious about or you need some research help? Okay, so I'm just gonna make one up. I think I was helping a student with, let's see, schizophrenia. Actually, this one was married woman life satisfaction. So they were very curious about finding if married women were more satisfied in life, or was single mother more satisfied in their life. And we kind of found some stuff for her. So based on looking at this, Langston, I will get to, we can do your research question next. So I just want to show you a little bit of the basics here. So there's a lot of text. And the thing about Google Scholar is you're going to be pulling up over 1 million results. And that's a lot to get through, right? There's no way you're going to be able to comb through all of the result list. So what I recommend is to really sort this, do a custom range of the date that, do you want it from the past 5 years, or do you want it from the past 10 years? And most professors, they like it from the past 5 years, but if you're doing a literature review, I would kind of include from the past 10 years. So we're going to do 2011 through 2021. And now I have about 175,000 results. Still a lot. And I bet you anything, we all just look at the first 3 pages, right? So what can we do to really get what we're looking for? So, if the first few links, they don't really pertain, people are just going to throw up their hands and go, start all over. But before we do that, I do want to point out here that the library links that we just set up is going to look like right here on the right side here. So this means that this article, there's a full article at wiley.com, and you can view it from TCS ES libraries. And this one, it looks like there's, I believe, actually that's still a database, which is nice. So a lot of these are full text. But this one doesn't look like it has it. So there's that empty space right here. And I'm going to show you the difference of what it looks like. So when you click on perceptions of autonomy and life satisfaction, Pakistani married woman, when you click on this, it's going to look like, what is it? Let me, it's going to tell you, buy this article for 40 bucks. Okay, so what do we do? So there's an option to click view it at TCSCS. When you click on that link, it's going to take you to, oh, it's working. So right now we are in the database, and Charisse, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but we are in the database LGBTQ plus source, okay? So I just want to let you guys know the EBSCOhost is the vendor and the database is called LGBTQ source. And it looks like, well, where's the full text? The full text is, if you click here, PDF full text is available. So now we're able to see the whole thing, okay? So you have access to the full article, great. You can go onto the left-hand side here and you can email it to yourself, okay? So it's a great question. I'm going to go back because I want to go back to Google Scholar. Well, what about those articles that, this one doesn't have that view it at TCSCS. It's called Life Satisfaction and Self-Esteem in Married and Unmarried Working Women. When you click on this, it tells us that the journal is from Journal of the Indian Academy, so on and so forth. If I click on this, somebody gave us like a preview, right? So what do? Sometimes you run into this when you're in Google Scholar and it's not helpful. What you can do is you can copy this Journal of the Indian Academy of Applied Psychology, copy this, go to the library homepage. And by the way, if you do not know what the library homepage is, when you are on the community site, we have the go to the library in the upper right corner, or you can go to menu and library, and this will bring you to the library homepage. So we're going to try to find if we have subscription to that journal. And I am just going to copy and paste Journal of the Indian Academy of Applied Psychology. I'm going to click go, and we're going to see if we have access to it. So it looks like we do, but we want to make sure that we have the correct date. So it looks like ProQuest Central has subscription from 2013 through 2017. So no current articles, and this is from 2011. So this means this article is not within the range of 2013 and 2017. So what do? So instead of going to pay for it, we're going to make an interlibrary loan request. And so what this means is you can either get an article from this journal and you can click get it. This is one way to access interlibrary loan system, which is a separate system from for your library account. Okay, so interlibrary loan it's when you request materials that is not within the TCS education system. So the TCS education system is going to consist of Chicago, Dallas, a bunch of the California branches. If it's not within those library system, then it's going to get it from outside, from an external library resource. So that could be coming from public libraries, could be coming from another private college, or it could be coming from the UK or from a different country. So interlibrary loan is free for all students and faculty and staff. All you have to do is click on this get it, and it kind of asks you, what do you need? So you fill out the article title, the best of your knowledge. You can go and rely on that, on this article, plug in all the information, and you click send. Okay, so what this does is it tells the interlibrary loan system that you want this article, and whichever corresponding library can get to it first, they will supply it to you through your email. Okay, so it's going to be your student email. There's another way to request for interlibrary loan materials. If you didn't know what the journal article is, and click up here, way up here, the interlibrary loan request. So I'm already signed into my library account. You can always tell if you look in the upper right corner, that's my name. And if you click on I allow request, you can fill out that you want the article. We are currently not accepting any interlibrary loan physical items, but you can request a book chapter. Okay, so that will be sent to you through your student email again. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to go back to Google Scholar because there's a few more things I want to show you. Go back. Okay, so Langston, you want to know more about, does teacher retention correlate with principal leadership? Okay. I'm going to type out the whole thing and see if anything pops up. So the really nice thing about Google Scholar kind of works like Google, where you can put in that full sentence, right? It doesn't, you don't technically need to put in keywords. If you want to, you can, but I just want to type in the whole thing so you kind of see what happens. Okay, so I still have the range from the past 10 years. And now, let's see, teacher retention, correlate principal leadership, teacher retention and satisfaction. Yeah, so there are a couple of things here that is pretty relevant to what you're looking for. So again, these articles are full text at the TCSES libraries. I want to take you guys to the advanced search because I want you to see what that looks like. And it's usually on the upper left corner. Click on those 3 dashes, and there's the advanced search right here. It looks really simple, and it pops up like it. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so here we go. It does not want to be moved, so I'm just going to type that in. So right now, how this is working, how Google is polling the result is it's looking through the entire article. If you want to, you can look in just in the title, but right now, all the words that is in this field is polling articles in the entire article. And maybe you wanted a specific author. And if you know a specific author, you can type in their names or their last name, whichever way, or which article. So this is a very, I almost think this is a basic search, but Google Scholar likes to keep things simplified for their users, which I understand. And that really attracts a lot of people to come and use Google Scholar. So you can't really filter the results anymore. So I think Google Scholar has its benefits and its disadvantages. The library search it does have a little bit better advanced search features where you can really filter it down. But if you have a specific topic and you're really past the lit review, you're going into the methodology, I really recommend you to use a library database. And it's going to be a subject database, right? It's not just going to be a random database that doesn't fit with your research. So what I mean is, if you're researching on a topic around psychology, you don't want to be looking at a business database. Okay, so right now I'm already signed into my Google account. So if any of you have a YouTube or a Google account, you should be signed in, and you can kind of tell your name is up here. And the nice thing about Google is you can, let's say you really like the first 5 articles, we can click on the star and I can create folders for this. So let's say I'm creating a new, let's see, teacher retention Lit Review. Okay, I'm creating that folder to kind of organize all of my articles. And I can click on that. I can click on this one, and I'm going to put this in teacher retention. And then once you click on that little star, it colors it, and we can go to my library. So all those articles are going to be in your library, and you can, view which folder you want to. And if I go to the teacher retention folder, here are the 2 articles that I just saved. Okay, really neat. You can always come back to this if you don't have time to read it right away. And I'm just going to go back. And if you want to, if you are using APA citation or a specific other citation, you can click on that little quote. It's like a quotation mark. This will give you different ways to cite it. I really recommend you to double check to make sure that the APA citation is correct. So if you have an APA manual or if you're using OWL Purdue, verify to make sure that it is the updated 7th edition. Don't always rely on a computer. And if you want to, you can export these citations to RefWorks Citation Management Style or EndNote. We support RefWorks, so if you want a RefWorks account, you can get it for free. I believe if you're on the library homepage, you can go all the way down. And helpful tools, RefWorks, you can create an account for free. And all of the RefWorks is already embedded in all of the library databases, so whenever you export a citation, it'll just go into your RefWorks. Okay. I'm going to close all of this. And the last thing I wanted to go over is the cited by. So you're probably looking at these and like, what does the cited by 325 mean? So this means that there's been about 214 articles, other articles, that has cited this article, okay? So when you click on this, all of these articles have cited that one article that we just clicked on. So we call this citation tracking. And then you're like, okay, well, what is that all for version mean? So the for version means that it must have been at one point a preprint, or they may have updated the article in some way, and they've uploaded all of these articles into a specific repository or blog or somewhere. And now Google has been able to compile it into the related version. Okay, so sometimes you might even see maybe a conference proceeding paper or PowerPoint, and then you'll see the published, maybe like a draft version, and it'll go into the published article. So that's what the related different version is for. If you want to, you can kind of check to see, let's say that first article, I really liked it, and it's just hitting all of the research questions that I have. You can definitely click on the related articles, and this will kind of give you more articles pertaining to that topic. Okay. Again, Google Scholar, I like it, but it's also, there's a lot of results that you have to go through. Our main page, we have about over 18,000 results. That's a lot to comb through. If you have the time, that's great, but I can guarantee you nobody has that much time. Let's see. You can definitely create a My Profile. So this My Profile, if you are a researcher and you want to upload all of your articles on here, you can do that. So this is another way for researchers and scholars to kind of interact and follow each other based on their publications. It's free. I don't have one because I don't think I want to, but if you are into publishing, you can definitely do that. You can check and find other profiles. I don't remember if there is a way to search for profiles, but I think what you can do is, let's see. Let me see if this professor has Yeah, so this professor has his own profile, and he has an image, and these are all the articles that he has published, and you can see when it was cited by, which year, and there's also more. I think I'm not sure what these index are for, but this is just a different way of how researchers and scholars make, how you can find their information. Charisse, you asked, how does RefWorks benefit us? So that's a great question. I'm going to go to RefWorks, and I think that's it for most of Google Scholar. If you have a research question, or if you want help with a research topic, you can definitely consult with me and do a one-on-one research consultation. I'd love to meet up with you. And the RefWorks is great because what you can do is it's a powerful citation software management. I'm going to click on RefWorks, and I think I already have an account. Okay, let me see if I can remember my email. So I use my student email, and I have to remember if I still have the right one. Okay. So ProQuest is the creator of RefWorks. Okay, so RefWorks, what it does is it stores all the citations that you want. So let's say I really like this article and I want to import it to my RefWorks. I'm going to this first article. I'm going to click on that little quotation, and I'm going to click on RefWorks. And what this does is it imports that article to RefWorks. It's like, do you want to export this to the newest version of RefWorks? Yes, I do. So once I click on that, and ask you, do you want to, put this into the folder? I'm going to put it into the sample. I'm going to click import. So when you are working on this, it can get pretty powerful. So I'll show you an example of what you can do. I'm going to go to my folders. I'm going to click on my sample. And let's say I want to turn this into a reference bibliography. You can do that. So instead of me copying and pasting and manually typing out a bibliography, I'm just going to click select all on this page. And I'm going to go to this create bibliography, and the create bibliography. And a lot of us are using APA 7th edition for the Chicago schools. So I'm just going to use the APA 7th edition. And now I have my bibliography. So then all you got to do is copy and put this into a Word document. So you don't have to, manually write out your bibliography. Okay, but I always just recommend you to double check to make sure this works for you. The other thing is it can help you to do your in-text citation. And I don't have the software for that right now, but I'm pretty sure I can. What you have to do is you have to download, I think it's the Write-Insight. So what this does is, let me see if they have it on here. I forgot where it is. I haven't used a new one too much, but let's say if you're writing an article, this is a sample, and you were citing Reese, right? You're trying to cite this one. The software will identify, it will know like, oh, you're trying to do an in-text citation. Then it will just fill out the information for you. It's really neat. And especially if you're using Chicago Turabian, it'll help fill out those in-text citations. I think it helps with footnotes too. So you don't have to manually type out, Reese states, this is a sample. And then it's what, 1971, page 678. It does that for you. It's very, very powerful and helpful. Faith says, create bibliography, quick cite. What does that mean? What, the quick cite? Let me see if I can unmute you guys. Oh, okay. Let me see. Create bibliography, quick cite, copy formatted citations bibliography from a folder or search results to your page. Okay. So I think what it does, insert citations. Okay. Continue to bibliography. I think it kind of just does the same thing. But it just pops up in a window instead of I think instead of having it on RefWorks. The insert citation, choose one or more references to cite in your paper. This I'm not too familiar with. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's nice. So say that you were, I think there's got to be a better way to do this. Either you copy this into your Word document, but I've seen what RefWorks, I don't remember what it's called, RefWorks cite while you write. I think it's called Write and Cite. So you have to download the software, and I think this is a part of the RefWorks. I don't know where it is, but once you download it, it'll pop up up here. So right now I have Zotero, and Zotero allows me to do that, but I don't have the Write and Cite download into my computer, so it's not going to pop up. But it'll look similar to like what Zotero is, but it's going to read Write and Cite, and it allows you to do the in-text citation. Allison, you wrote, I have RefWorks created as an add-on in Google Docs. Yeah, you can, RefWorks is compatible with Google Docs and Microsoft Word. So you can kind of do, whichever Word or Doc that you like to use, it works compatible for those. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to unmute everyone, but it's not letting me. Maybe it's just attendees who can talk. Yeah, I think I have to do it individually. Okay, so why is it not letting me? Okay, so I unmuted everyone, and I think if anybody wants to talk, they can unmute themselves. Is that what it is? Okay. So Todd, I see that you're unmuted. So I am kind of trying to figure out how this works, but does anybody have any questions? Any dire questions they want me to answer related to Google Scholar or RefWorks? Otherwise, feel free to put in your questions and I can try my best to answer them. If you guys would like to, what I would like to do is maybe in the future, for the next webinar, I can do a demo for RefWorks and kind of really show you guys how to do the Write Insight software installed and how we can use that in your papers. Or I can also show Zotero, which I kind of like a little bit more, but some people have different preferences for the citation software management. If you are a graduate or doctoral student, I really recommend you to use either one of the citation software management that I just mentioned, because it'll make your life a whole lot easier to organize all of your articles instead of just putting it into a Word document and you're manually typing it out. Sharice asked, are there any other things that are helpful, like RefWorks, that the library has links to that are helpful? I'm trying to think. Let's see. If you are graduates, which most of you guys are, we do have some helpful services for the graduates on the library homepage. So depending on what you need, there is a graduate tab here. And these are the different services that can kind of support you with your writing assignments. So for Dallas, if you are in Dallas, or if you are an online student, the Online Writing Center is going to be your best bet if you need editing or writing proof paper for your dissertation. And I did ask the director how they can support students, especially if you're writing your dissertations. They will help you, I believe, up to 3 chapters on your dissertations. And I'm trying to think of more stuff I will get back to. Sharice, Faith asked another question. If your RefWorks is an add-on to Google Scholar site, is it connected to your TCSPP as well? Yeah, it should be, because what I did, Faith, I was already logged into my RefWorks. So when you are going to, I'm going to close out, maybe I should close out that soon. When you're in Google Scholar, make sure, and if you are using RefWorks, make sure you're logged into your RefWorks. Then you can easily just import all of your RefWorks, so it doesn't ask you to sign in or anything. It should just take you to the same one. Okay, so when I clicked on RefWorks, it opened up another page. It I'm sorry, I've been saying it wrong. It exports to RefWorks. So since I'm already signed in, it takes me to my same RefWorks. It's only one same RefWorks. It's not, Google is not the creative RefWorks, it's ProQuest. And so I can go and click on my, let's see, my folders, go to sample, and now I have all of my articles that I saved from Google Scholar. Yeah, it does keep everything neat and tidy. If you want to add more folders, you know, maybe you're getting to your methodology part and you want to save a separate folder for this, you can do so, and now you have a whole new page. I do want to tell you that if you have to, let's say, sometimes when you are on a social media site or you're on New York Times, you can grab those resources into RefWorks as well, so it's not just in the databases. You can manually, so for example, let's say I went to, let's say I really like, I'm going to just type up a random New York Times, and it doesn't have to be a peer-reviewed article. Let's say I really like this, I don't like this article, but I'm just going to use this as an example. I believe RefWorks has an extension, like a Google Chrome extension, and you can just save it and it'll automatically save into your RefWorks. So let me check what that RefWorks, there we go, RefWorks extension. So couple of things. Let's see. I think they have an extension. Okay, let's see. Save to RefWorks. Where is the, maybe it doesn't have that. Oh, there we go. It's called RefGrabbit. So you have to download this extension, but this looks kind of, this looks like a weird page. Maybe it doesn't have it. RefWorks. I have to figure out. That would be a different, that would be a good webinar I can show in the future. I have to kind of explore. I don't really like using RefWorks personally, and everybody is different. So you don't have to use RefWorks. For me, I like to use Zotero. And the nice thing about, I can show you a quick example is, Zotero is already installed into my extension. And if I like this, see, New York Times doesn't have RefWorks. It doesn't have Zotero. So what you have to do is you have to download an extension and it saves it into my Zotero folder. So if I click into this little extension box, let me just pull this down. When I click on this, I have Zotero connector and I'm trying to save it in here. And so it says, is Zotero running? You know, you have to make sure that your Zotero is open. So Zotero, I have the app. I have the, this is what Zotero looks like on the desktop. So what I want to do is I'm going to try again. I'm going to try saving this into Zotero. And this little guy pops up. It just tells me it's saving to my lit review. And I just, you know, if you want to, you can change to a different folder, but it does. So then I just go back to Zotero. Let's see, can I refresh this? It takes like, oh, it's already right there. So right there, sexual misconduct complaints. This is from the New York Times. This is the newspaper. And it kind of gives me all of the metadata, what we call data, describing data. So it's already saved in there. I believe RefWorks is something like this, but I have to explore and investigate. I've only used the basics of RefWorks, but I use Zotero mainly. Anybody have any other question? You do have to download Zotero, Charisse. And so we are running out of time and it takes a little bit of time. You have to download Zotero onto your, Zotero is another citation software management. So it's just like RefWorks, but it's a little bit different. It's not provided by ProQuest. It's a separate application. So these are Zotero, RefWorks. There's something else called EndNote, Mendeley. These are all citation software management. And it just saves all of your citation articles into the software. And it makes organizing your articles much easier instead of, you know, copying and paste it onto Word. And I think what I will do is I can do a webinar on how to install Zotero, how to install the extension for it, and then we can also do another one for RefWorks. RefWorks is, it looks a lot more, I think it's more user-friendly, and what I mean by that is that it looks easier to use, but I think they both have its pros and cons. And there's a slight, like, there's a little bit of like, it takes a little bit longer to kind of show all the different steps. So I'm not going to go and cover it because it might take about 20 to 30 minutes. And we're almost at the end of our time. So look out for a Zotero and RefWorks webinar in the next couple of months, weeks. I would say weeks. And I'll really break it down because when I first tried learning Zotero, it was a slight learning curve. Any other questions before we wrap this up? Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming. You guys had a lot of great questions. I hope I see you guys in the next few sessions and enjoy the rest of your evening. This will also be sent out to you once it gets processed and recorded. So that's the end of the session. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a great night.